I think somebody needs our help. Come on, let's hit up a patrol.
Hey everyone, Leo Bond here. I'm back again today for the Best Buy Canada plug-in blog, and this time it's with a look at the Sphero Spider-Man app-enabled superhero, a fun, interactive toy that definitely has both its ups and downs, and we're going to get into what some of those are in just a minute or so. But first, I just want to quickly show this guy up close. So, Spider-Man here is a very static toy. He doesn't move around like some of Sphero's other licensed releases, for example, their Ultimate Lightning McQueen and their Star Wars droids, and in many ways, this really limits what you can do with him. He does have some arm articulation. They basically can swing forwards and backwards, although he doesn't actually move them himself. You have to do it for him. He basically just stands there and interacts with you verbally, as well as through his expressive LCD eyes, which I do admit are rather cool. They're high resolution, and they've got the same sort of squinty focus ability that Spider-Man's suit in Captain America Civil War had, the one that was developed by Tony Stark. So his eyes can basically change their shape, which helps to reveal Spider-Man's different emotions. So yeah, that's definitely cool. And aside from that, Spider-Man also features an ultra-premium silicone exterior, so effectively his Spidey suit, which kind of feels rubbery and almost lifelike. And I'd probably have to liken it to a wetsuit or something similar to that, and it also seems fairly durable. Now, Spider-Man is at least half hid. He's got that super deformed or bobblehead sort of look, which makes him something of a cutesy figure, and one that should look pretty cool sitting on most people's toy shelves. And if you're a big Spider-Man or Marvel fan, I think that you're probably going to like this toy quite a bit, at least from an aesthetic standpoint and in terms of its overall build quality. But just what exactly can this Spider-Man do? Well, that is where Sphero's Spider-Man app comes in, because Spider-Man uses Bluetooth Smart to connect to either your iOS or Android-based device, and that is where the real fun begins with this guy, but not before you have to go through a number of different firmware and feature upgrades, which do take several minutes to complete, and you'll also have to connect Spidey to your home Wi-Fi network in order to do any of it. Now, luckily, Spider-Man came with a near full battery charge right out of the box. The instructions said that there would be enough of a charge in him to kind of get things going, and that charging would normally take about 4 hours to complete and result in 2 hours of continuous play time. And when I placed my Spider-Man on his very cool web-patterned charging base and plugged him in via his USB plug-in, a full battery was indicated in just about 2 minutes, so he obviously came with a very full charge. Now, by the way, the spider logo on his chest there is also his on switch, and it does flash during charging, and it will go out once he's fully charged. And also, if you want to, you can completely bypass the charging base and just plug the charger directly into the bottom of Spider-Man's foot. Now, as for his in-app features, there are a number of fun things that you can do with your Spider-Man once you've selected your very own superhero name. And the options in this area are somewhat limited. I ended up being called Stealth Wolf, which I didn't exactly love, but I guess it's not too bad. And anyway, once you've got your name, you can start enjoying the different activities, and they are pretty fun. For example, there's one called Team Up, where you get to go through different training scenarios with Spider-Man to hone your own superhero skills. So basically, they are games that Spider-Man walks you through, and he may ask you to do certain things like saying a specific word or phrase, or maybe picking him up and moving him around so that you activate one of his own superpowers, things like that. And once you've practiced your skills a little bit, or even sooner if you want to, you can go into the Fight Villains feature of the app, where again you team up with Spider-Man, only this time it's to take on major villains like Venom or Kraven or the Lizard. So that one is actually pretty cool as well, and very similar to the regular team up feature where you're just mostly training. But my very favorite part of the app is probably the Hangout feature, where Spider-Man basically tells you jokes and interesting stories, or you can just have a real face-to-face chat with him. And for the most part, he's really good at that. You can ask him pretty much anything, and if he recognizes some of the keywords in what you're saying, because he does have voice recognition after all, then he'll talk about whatever it is that you're asking him about. So, he's not going to know about every subject in the world, and there are plenty of times that, I ask him something and he just didn't respond at all, and I'm not sure if he didn't know what I was asking or if it was an accent thing or whatever. But when you do hit on a subject that he knows about, for example, if you ask him about Tony Stark, then he can really ramble on and have lots of interesting things to say about it. So I definitely enjoyed having him around and, really just chatting him up a bit. Oh, and by the way, my own special superpower as Stealth Wolf was called Super Clap, and I think that one pretty much just speaks for itself. Anyway, Spider-Man here has a few other interesting app features as well, like a built-in alarm that allows him to wake you up in the morning, and he can also guard your room and try to scare off intruders with verbal warnings, and later on he'll even give you a complete report of whatever went down if someone tried to come into your room. Now, the sensors for this aren't quite perfect, and he doesn't always catch the intruders every single time, but he is pretty good at it, just not perfect. And also, since he is Wi-Fi connected to the internet, it's very easy for him to get content upgrades and such. And of course, as you move forward in your journey and interactions with Spider-Man, basically playing the games and stuff and fighting villains, the adventure that you're on will evolve and move forward as well, because as Sphero themselves put it, every decision you make creates a new path forward. So it's almost like a kind of artificial intelligence. It sort of adapts to you. Now, another cool thing that Sphero has recently done is add a Watch With Me feature that you can use when viewing the Spider-Man animated TV series from Disney XD. And you don't even need to use your smart device to get this feature to work. Simply ensure that your Spider-Man is fully charged up, then double-click on his chest button and say, "Activate Watch With Me," and once the show is on, and as long as it's loud enough for him to hear it, he'll occasionally chime in with a funny or interesting comment. So pretty cool that Sphero decided to add this feature, and honestly, there's just a ton that you can do with this guy, and I'm sure that I haven't learned everything about him yet myself, but I'm really enjoying the process. And that's all I'm going to say about Sphero's Spider-Man for now. He is a pretty cool toy overall. I do wish he had some movement built in like Sphero's Ultimate Lightning McQueen. Unfortunately, Spider-Man is purely a static statue, but I really like him anyway. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please give it a like or a share, and be sure to subscribe and check back often if you enjoy video reviews of toys and tech gadgets. You just never know what I might be getting up to next. For now, I'd just like to thank you all for watching. Hope to see you back here again for the next review. Have an excellent day, and I'll see you soon.
Bonjour, partner.
Tell me a joke.
What did the toilet paper say to its parents? You're a great role model.